sight and then his speech and now... Oh, I can't let it happen.
Jean-Paul? Jean-Paul? Can you hear me? Thank God.
Darling.
Everything went black. Almost as if I had died. And I had the strangest dream. I can't remember what it was. You were watching someone burn at the stake. How did you know that? Who was it, Jean-Paul? Do you know? It was you, Philip. You were wearing some sort of smock. And you were smiling. Smiling. Even though the flames had totally engulfed you. I tried to pray for you, but I couldn't.
Tears from canvas and paint.
Cord, what on earth are you doing? Were you talking to that portrait?
Of course not.
I heard you, Cord.
I was talking to myself.
Have you seen Daddy?
I suppose he's in bed. That's where you should be.
Well, I went to his room and he wasn't there, and the bed hasn't even been slept in.
I saw him earlier this evening. He was, said he was going out for a walk.
In the middle of the night. Now, why would he do that?
Well, he often went out alone at night.
Oh, you never told me that before.
Well, it's his business.
Well, he might get hurt in the dark. He might stumble and fall, and no one would find him until daylight.
Well, he can look after himself. You worry too much.
I want you to go out and find him for me.
Leave him alone, Mother.
Court, I can't sleep if I'm worried about him. You go out and bring him back, please.
All right, all right. If you go to bed and go to sleep. I don't like to see you wandering around the house alone.
You make me feel that something's going to happen to me in the corridors. You are a silly boy.
What are you trying to tell us? Philip said to tell him if anything odd happened to you. But he told me not to leave the room, too, didn't he?
Is that all you remember? There was more, but I can't recall it.
Perhaps I can help. In the crowd that morning were all the noblemen of Paris come to make sure their secrets were burned with the martyr. Does that sound familiar?
There was an enormous crowd, many of whom were my friends.
One of them, a tall, elegant young man, watched without expression until the smoke and flames obscured the sight of the tortured saint.
I was the observer, and the burning man was you. Who are we?
Well, we'll soon find out. Take this book. Go downstairs and confront the portrait with it. Read that passage aloud. Now, if anything happens, send Court up to get me.
Emily, go with him. He needs help.
Oh, no, I won't leave you.
No, I'm all right now.
No, I'll stay with you. I've got the document. I'll be all right. Go on. Go ahead. You won't need me. Court can help you.
Is my father in there with Jean-Paul?
No, he isn't.
Well, have you seen him?
Well, not since early this evening.
He isn't in his room.
Well, if I see him, I'll tell him you're looking for him.
Oh, I can't sleep. I thought maybe Julian might be in here with Jean-Paul.
No, he isn't.
Come in, Ada.
Jean-Paul isn't feeling well.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, just a bit of dizziness, that's all. It's nothing. It's all over now. Emily, now that Ada's here and can stay with me, why don't you go and do what you wanted to do?
Of course I'll stay with you.
Make sure that he stays here and rests.
He cried.
Who did?
The portrait, he was weeping.
Did anything else happen?
My mother came in. She was worried about Julian. I think she suspects something.
What did you tell her?
Oh, I made up some story about him going out for a walk. What are you doing?
Well, you watch the portrait when I read this out loud and tell me if anything unusual happens. In the crowd that morning were all the noblemen of Paris, come to make sure their secrets.
Why would Julian go out in this darkness? Court tells me he often goes out for a walk at this time of the night.
Don't worry, Ada. He'll be all right.
Oh, I can't help it. Of course I worry. It's my nature. I worry about my father, and I worry about Court. I found him talking to that portrait.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes, he said he was talking to himself, but I don't believe that. He's hiding something from me.
I don't think that's true, Ada.
Yes, that is true. Everyone hides things from me, even you and Emily.
Oh, we're not hiding anything?
Well, I heard a scream. Now, that's what woke me up. You pretend that nothing is happening here. Who screamed?
It was Emily. When she opened the door and found me lying here, I was unconscious.
Oh, dear, and I'm going on and on about my worries. Are you all right now?
I'm fine, just a little weak, but that's to be...
Jean-Paul? What is it? Tell me!
Until the smoke and flames obscured the sight of the tortured saint.
Look! Philip, look! He's weeping.
So that's what it was. What? Emily, you shouldn't leave Jean-Paul alone, not now.
He's not alone. Ada's with him.
Emily, you're right. I don't understand it, but you're right.
What happened?
Well, the portrait wept when I read to it.
He did the same thing earlier when I was alone with it.
When you read it to Jean-Paul upstairs.
Philip, it's happening. I knew it. We're almost at the end of our search.
Everything we do from now on will affect Jean-Paul.
He will be all right with Ada, won't he?
Well, she doesn't know what we're doing.
Court, stay with them, just in case.
Jean-Paul, what is it? Where are you going? Don't leave me here all by myself, Jean-Paul. Jean-Paul!
Mother, where are you going?
After Jean-Paul, he just left his room.
He couldn't have. He can't see.
That's ridiculous.
I tell you, he's blind.
No, he's not.
He can't speak either.
But he can.
Emily told me he couldn't see and nor speak.
Have you seen him?
Well, only briefly. He was lying on Susan's bed when I came by earlier.
And did you talk to him?
Emily wouldn't let me.
Well, he can see, and he can speak. But he's acting very strangely.
In what way?
Well, I was talking to him, and tears rolled down his cheeks.
When?
Just a moment ago. And then he walked out of the room without a word.
You go to my room and wait there until I come back.
Court, be careful.
You read that passage aloud while I read this. And don't stop reading until you come to the end of the lines I've marked, all right?
The sun
My
filled the
Lord
square.
and Master
Cathedral
Lucifer,
bells rang out.
I acknowledge thee a prince, and promise to serve and obey thee even beyond my life.
I demand to know what you are doing.
Julian? Julian Desmond? Are you in here? What are you doing to us? Are you trying to save us or to destroy us? Release me from this bondage. Let me have my own life.
Jean-Paul, are you all right? Can you see me?
Of course I can see you, Court. What am I doing here?
Don't you know?
I remember being in my room.
Emily said that you were blind and that you couldn't speak.
Perhaps I was, but only for a time. It passed.
Mother said that you wept. Why did you weep with my mother?
I don't know.
The portrait wept when you did. No, I didn't. But you did.
I couldn't weep. I couldn't pray. I watched him, and I felt as if it was my flesh that was burning, as if it was my soul that was reaching for the heavens. He died in my place. I couldn't weep. I couldn't pray.
Jean-Paul, what are you saying?
I'm not who you think I am, Court.
Well, who are you?
I am possessed by someone else.
Well, who is it? Can't you tell me?
No, I can't tell you yet. Keep me away from him. Protect me from him, Court. Keep him away. Help me. Court, help!
I won't leave this room until you tell me what you're doing.
Ada, I've told you before, I can't tell you.
It's magic you're dealing with, isn't it?
Yes, some people might call it that.
Well, that's what destroyed my Uncle Benjamin. And that's what made my father disappear for all those years.
It's not the same thing.
They summoned the evil spirit, and it led them to disaster. mustn't do it. I won't let you. I won't let Court go the way of my father and the other Desmonds.
Now, listen, Ada. Don't you understand? What we're trying to do is rid Desmond Hall of all the evil.
It will only bring more evil.
Emily, let me try to explain.
Well, that's the box that Jean-Paul gave me. And it was to protect me if I...
Did it protect you?
Yes, it did. I was terrified. Can't remember what about now, but it passed.
Then you do trust this box?
Yes, I do.
Ada, will you do as it asks you to do?
All right.
Then go to your room and stay there until morning, and no harm will come to you. And no harm will come to your father or Court. And we'll see that they pass the evening safely.
We've got to use those ashes on the portrait.
I have. Emily, I have to tell you something before we proceed.
What?
I touched these ashes to the portrait's lips in order to stop the laughter. And that's when Jean-Paul lost his speech.
Oh, no.
And I put ashes on its eyes so it couldn't see what I was doing.
And that's when Jean-Paul went blind?
And then I called on death to come to the portrait.
And Jean-Paul died instead.
No, Emily, not instead.
You mean they're the same person?
I'm afraid they are.
Oh, that can't be. What does it mean?
Well, now that we've started talking to the portrait through the words in this book and the document, perhaps it's too late to turn back. Now, if you want to continue, we will.
I want Jean-Paul to be free from all of this. I want to live a life like other people. Just have to risk it.
I leave it up to you.
Open the book and read. I'll read this.
In the
My
crowd
lord
that morning
and master
were all the
Lucifer.
noblemen of Paris.
Put out those flames! Save him! Tie me to the stake in his place. Philippe, he's innocent. Stop his smiling! Philippe! Philippe! My brother! Paul, what is it? What are you saying? I didn't want him to feel any harm. I didn't want him to die this way. He is my brother, and I love him. In spite of all our differences, I love him. Oh, God. Forgive me. I didn't want him to die.
One of
If
them,
I fail
tall,
in this
elegant
pledge,
young man, watched without
I give you as
expression
hostage
until the smoke
any
and
male
flames
descendant
obscured
you
the
shall
sight of the
name.
tortured saint.
in perpetuity.
When the crowd dispersed and nothing remained of the anonymous martyr, he took a snuff box from his pocket and filled it with the still smoldering ashes and disappeared, never to be seen again. Jacques, Eloi des Mondes, come and face the consequences of your crime. Confront confront those who have paid the price of your freedom.
Forgive me, Philippe, for letting you die in my place.